78.6 Yomaton positive vibes with Winsome. It has been, man, I'm going to tell y'all how excited I am right now in a minute. Can you hear me okay, Miss Kalani? Let's go. I had to get her name down right. So today's guest, we have Command Sergeant Major Kalani Khalili. Did I get it right? That's totally right. Yo, first try. On the first try. So, man, we're going to let's do a sound check. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
And we can hear you great, too, now.
Right.
Let's go. Positive vibes of Winsome. One of the promises that I gave to the station manager, our manager, our president, my first week here, he said, Winsome, can you please get Tory leadership in? That was his dream. I know you're watching, sir. She's here. Tory leadership. I feel like a big kid right now. Kalani Khalili is here with us today, and she's leaving us. Am I tracking that right?
That's correct. First, I just want to go back and say I'm shocked that I'm the first leader from Tory Station that's actually come here. Because we preach community, and I know during COVID-19 it was so hard to stay connected,
right?
With the community. But I feel like even during COVID, we could have came up here. So shame on us, right? We should have been here sooner.
You are starting a new trend.
Yeah,
let's go.
I hope this is the first.
That's right.
Of many leaders that come here, to be the voice of the Army community.
Thank you.
Which is embedded in Yomitan.
That's right. We are home.
Yeah,
yes,
we
ma'am.
are neighbors.
Yes.
What is going on?
We have a ghost in the room too. He ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna pull him in probably third segment. But Mr. Kane Khalili, the husband of Command Sergeant Major Khalili, is also visiting with us in the studio. He's awesome, man. I heard he has a great sense of humor, so I'm gonna try to sneak him on. I'm gonna throw him the thumb ball in a minute, right? He don't know what's coming, but I'm gonna get him to answer. Hey guys, as you know, every show we start off with the Thumball segment, thumball.com and trainerswarehouse.com. I wouldn't be here still on the air and able to do the things that I do without their support. So thank you so much for supporting the show, Positive Vibes Radio Show, the website, and the support that you give us, and especially when we're traveling and bringing the messages of resiliency to the schools, high schools, and also to the rest of the region. Thank you. Thumball.com and trainerswarehouse.com. Now, ma'am, I gave you heads up.
You did.
Let's get it.
Let's do this.
So what we do every show, if you're just tuning in, we throw the thumb ball 3 times to each other, right? And wherever our right thumb lands, that is the question we have to answer.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to toss to you.
Okay.
All right.
Ready.
What'd you get? Right thumb.
So right thumb, I'd like to change.
Ooh. What would you, if you could change anything, it doesn't matter, world, job, anything, what would you change?
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'd like to change COVID-19.
Let's go.
Definitely. Please let this be gone already, right? It's totally interrupted.
Yes.
And maybe for in a good way, it's totally interrupted our lives and made us reflect.
Yes.
On what we used to have and how we used to interact.
Yes.
And has forced us to be totally innovative, adaptive, and agile in our thinking. But we also have this dark side of COVID that we tend to not talk about, but we do see the numbers and, depression, alcoholism, and things of that nature. And so if I could snap my fingers in a day and change something, please go away, COVID-19.
Let's go. She could change anything. She'd get rid of COVID. Let's go, COVID.
Yeah, let's
be
go.
out.
Get out of here.
Let's be gone. All right, my turn. Let me see what we got. Uh-oh. It says, my most creative contribution.
Oh.
Let's go. Oh, ooh, that's a good one. I think right now, looking at their little personalities and their little energy, I'd say my greatest accomplishment and contribution to this world was making my beautiful children.
Nice.
And they're so funny. Their little personalities, and every day, and I just want them to be the best they can be. And I know they're going to be great. So that I would say my greatest contribution is being able to give this world the next chapter in the forms of all the little minions I got running around. I love them, and that's my greatest creative. I don't even think I meant to create them. I'm kidding, just kidding, baby. I love y'all. Daddy, every minute was wonderful. The greatest creative contribution to this world had to be my babies.
So yeah, Kane and I are in a different era in our life where
Mm-hmm.
we have 20-something-year-olds. We have a 25-year-old daughter, 22-year-old son, and 21-year-old son.
Nice.
The youngest one right now, because of COVID, he was at the University of Hawaii.
Nice.
Playing men's soccer.
Okay.
And during COVID, they weren't really playing and it
Mm.
wasn't really meeting his goals and intent. And so he came back home about 6
Mm-hmm.
months ago, right, Kane?
Let's go.
And, you raise these little beings
Mhm.
to make, to be a positive something in this world, right?
Right.
You don't need to be a negative.
Right.
You need to go and spill positive energy, positive impact on this world.
Right.
And it's crazy because our son, without even us prompting him, he ended up becoming a coach within the community.
Let's go.
He's not on the base. He's actually in the community.
Let's go.
And plus he's working out and also on one of the soccer teams for the Marine Corps.
Let's go.
But yeah, and not with the Army, right?
Right.
But
Just
that's
the Marines, right?
Right. and it shocks me because you do get sometimes the back talk as they're growing up, and you're like, who did I just raise? And then you look at what they're actually doing in the community later
Right.
on, you're like, wow, that's totally what I raised.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes you proud, man.
Yeah.
The video chat, I can't get my morning, like you said. You watch him grow, you watch him develop. And we don't know what the little ones are going to develop into. We're hopeful, right? We're giving you all the tools,
Right.
making you better than us. What happens?
Exactly. And the other part of that too is, and I get really passionate when I talk about this,
I love
is they're not going to be what you want them to be.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
I wish I would have learned that lesson a long time ago.
They're not going to be the carbon copies of
No.
us or the upgrades. They're going to be something completely different.
Right. Totally opposite.
Yes. I like that. So guys, hey, I know y'all got to get to the next question. Forgive us. This is look, it's about time, right? We got her. We got her. So before I give her the ball back, this is the second attempt. And the first one, I think that was on me because I was moving around and flying around the world at the time. But we were on the messenger, right? And I was
Yes.
like, ma'am, I think you are the command sergeant major.
Yeah.
Help, SOS. I have a promise to keep. And I'm going to tell you, it's very rare. We talked about the character of people. A lot of times you reach out to folks and they'll be like, who is this guy? Without hesitation and without question, I threw out there who I was, what I was trying to do. And I want to say, if I haven't told you already, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
It means
You're
so
welcome.
much.
It's an honor. I
Thank
did
you.
not realize, no leadership, right?
Gotcha.
It's crazy.
Gotcha. Hey, we starting something. Here we go. Round 2.
All right.
You ready? Right down, right down.
Right down. With 1 free hour,
Let's go. If you had a free hour of your day, of your week, what would you do?
I would run up to the Torrey pool and lay out and be sunbathing and getting my tan on.
Let's go.
And then swimming in the pool. But I would do that down. I've actually done that
Nice.
on Torrey Beach. And I'd also, if I actually had an hour's worth of time, I'd also be at Taguchi Beach,
Nice.
which is right next door to us. Because it's something that I haven't done.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I know they just said 1, I
Yeah.
just opened it up
That's
to
okay.
3 different events.
You had a whole hour.
Yeah, but I totally would be there. I love being by the water. It's
Gotcha.
something that I think we underappreciate here because we're here in the moment on
Right.
an island. Kane and I have been back-to-back assignments on islands. This is actually my 3rd island assignment.
Wow.
So I've had Cuba.
Nice.
That I've been to. Just recently, we came out of Hawaii with the 25th Infantry Division.
Let's go.
And now here.
Okay.
And it's easy, right, to take that for granted that
Yes.
you're on yet another island.
Yes.
And I know people get island fever and they're like, oh, I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
But just walk outside. The water is beautiful. The karamas are
Let's
right there,
go.
right? And yeah, that's what I choose to do with a free hour
I love
of my
that.
time.
She said something. You guys heard me echo this throughout all the weeks if you heard my random voice, right? Listen to this. Anywhere you go on this island, 5 minutes to the left or 5 minutes to the right, you'll see something beautiful.
Yeah.
And we miss it because we walk around here with our mission and our responsibilities, and we just lose sight of how beautiful the environment is around us. And it's just the people, the island itself, the water.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah. The
Kane,
water.
The water Kane. I told him to get him in here. I'm throwing him in the conversation. Y'all catching me, right? So I went kayaking. I'm gonna tell you, I went kayaking. You talking about the being out on the beach, and for the first time in my life, I'm scared of water, big bodies of water.
Oh, okay.
Frightened, like horribly frightened. Watching Jaws too much as a kid. So I'm kayaking out in Gala area, right? And I look in the water, and you can see straight down to the bottom. Mm-hmm. Never did I ever, right? Never in my life. Straight that beautiful.
Yeah.
California is just you ain't gonna see straight down, right? You see the surface of the top, but it's just beautiful that you'll never see before. All right, back to me. Let's go. What we got, man?
Let's see this.
My biggest waste of time.
Oh.
My biggest waste of time. Netflix. I had to say, I lose myself in some of them shows, man.
Really?
Yes. Usually my time is preparing speeches, writing, getting ready for shows, program coordinating, and listening to audiobooks or motivational speakers. But when I get into one of them Netflix shows, time.
I looked at Kane because I was like, oh, I'm in trouble.
Oh, got her.
I just finished Inferno Island. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that one.
It's like a Korean dating show, and there's 9 episodes that I totally took like three days.
Yes.
And you're right. It is it's like, did that make me a better human being? I don't know, but it was fascinating.
So can you imagine? Hey guys, we need to figure out a way to stop war in the world. We need to figure out world peace. I learned something on Inferno Island. Hold on. The dude said if she calls him on Wednesday, that's not right. I watched Stranger Things and all the way through.
Yeah, I did too.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't know where the time went because you would get immersed, right?
Yeah.
So I'm all down for escapism every once in a while. I love it, but Netflix is addictive.
It is. It
is. Oh my gosh,
it is
time wasters.
Yeah.
What
time thieves.
Our brother over there, the ghost, is shaking his head. He knows. Time thieves got us. Hey, 78.6 FM Yomitan. If you are listening in for the first time or you're just tuning in, we have with us Command Sergeant Major Kalani Khalili. She is visiting from Torrey Station. She is gifting us with, did I say it right this time? Look, I got it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's always right.
Gifting
You're
us.
Doing good.
Man, I'm so excited to have her. And I know the station is so grateful for your presence.
Oh.
We got a husband in the room, Kane. If you guys listening, he's the ghost in the corner. We're going to get him on the third segment, though.
Yeah.
So he's hanging out with us, too. And we have been tossing the thumb ball around. That was toss 2. So we're going for toss 3 to close out the segment. Ma'am, you ready?
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Bam. Right thumb. What you got?
Oh, you know what? It shows it.
Oh, you can throw it back up. Oh, you can do that one right
there.
Yeah.
A talent I wish I had. I wish I had the talent of storytelling.
Let's go.
Down to a T. Because storytelling is important, and in public speaking, it's important. And I'm getting ready to leave out of here, and I'm crafting my speech.
Nice.
And I wish I was better at the framing a story so people remember the key points that you are trying to get out to a community, because brevity and what you say matters.
That's right.
Right.
Words matter.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, let's go. Storytelling. I'm going to tell you, that's not easy. So Toastmasters is coming back to Kadena.
Yeah.
We just got them back. And what they deliver and provide, like immediately, you're not the only one, right? So like 26 people in less than 2 hours. Like, sign me up, sign me up, sign me up.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Believe it or not, so real quick story. My mom was an MWR and still is a GS civilian,
Nice.
MWR civilian.
Nice.
I've been there for 40 years.
Wow.
And she put me in public speaking when I was a kid for summer.
Yeah.
I hated it. But thank you, Mom.
Thanks, Mom, for getting me started. All right, so I hated it, but thanks, Mom. Love you. Love you. If I had $1 million.
Oh, if you won the lotto back in the States.
Man. So I just go through my bucket list, but I'll talk to y'all about that after this first segment commercial. 78.6 FM Yomitan, Positive Vibes of Winsome. We'll be right back right after these messages with Command Sergeant Major Khalili. Thanks. 78.6 FM Yomitan. I said I was put my rank on there that time. Where am I at right now? I'm thinking AFN. 78.6 FM Yomitan. Positive vibes of Winsome. We, of course, have, if you're just tuning in, Command Sergeant Major Khalili from Tory Station with us today. Ma'am.
Kalani
Khalili. Let's go. We're going to go with
street.
Kalani. Let's go. if y'all can't see us, we're throwing up the sign, man. The Shakas. Let's go. Ma'am, if I had $1 million was the question, right?
Yeah.
So I think I would finish up my bucket list immediately. Go to the places that I wanted to go for my first bucket list. Definitely now COVID's not a thing. Bring the babies with me everywhere I go, right? So they can see different things. And I think the rest I just build somewhere, something similar to this, probably even on this island because it's beautiful to me. Just something nice that I can actually put the rest of that money away.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't need much. And then kids, put them to school if they don't already got the money set up for them, right?
Yeah, that's like really what I went in. Like, you know, I think first thing when you're a parent is you go, I want, you know, this human being that, you know, we've invested so much time and energy brought into the world to be a productive something, right? I don't need my kids to be all university kids,
right? But
I need them to be positive impact, you know, to a community. And I think that's what I would invest in is like, hey, what is your niche? Because they're in the 20s right now, and eventually they'll be in their 30s, where we're really trying to figure it out, right?
There it is.
And yeah, I think that's where I would first put my roots down.
Nice.
You know, because Kane and I are set, right? We're retiring. We actually are replacing all of our kids with dogs right now.
Let's go.
Because we have 2.
If y'all just tuning in, the ghost in the room who's replacing the kids with dogs, we're going to get him on third segment. Kane Khalili. I keep slowly pulling him closer to the mic. Y'all should see it. It's a magic trick.
Yeah. Yeah. And he'll be here. You know.
Let's go.
Yeah, he eventually will come here. Massive beard and all. So.
Let's go. So question, what kind of dogs do you have?
So we have a shepherd mix.
Okay.
I call her our moody high schooler. But she's very prim and proper.
Okay.
She's very big. She's not your average, what you would think of what a shepherd looks like. She actually is really stunning when you look at her because she's white and brown.
Nice.
Tall, but yeah, so we have her and we've had her since she was a puppy. We actually adopted her at a pound in El Paso.
Nice.
And then we also have a Yorkie, which is a hot mess, ball of energy.
Yes.
And I wouldn't have her any other way.
Always the little ones, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
And here's the thing, you know, she's the one that acts up on the walks, like barking at every neighbor we have. And I feel so bad. I'm like, it's not the big one that you have to worry about who's not on the leash, right?
Come here, killer.
Yeah. And Kadena leadership don't get me because sometimes my dog is off the leash, but she acts right. But it's not the Yorkie. The Yorkie is madness.
Yeah.
And the rats are out, right? So these little mole, have you seen them?
No.
So there's a mole rat here.
No.
And they live in the dirt.
Okay.
And only during certain seasons on Kadena, they pop out, right?
Of course.
And it's the season right now. So at 3:00 in the morning when she has to go out, we let her out.
Yeah.
And she darts right for this bush and scares these rats out.
Going for the mole rats.
Yeah, these little mole rats. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our dogs. And
nice.
and that's my entertainment.
I love it. Hey, 100%. If she mentioned the mole rats on Kadena, if you've never been to the island and folks who are watching on YouTube, man, this is like the mist after the rain goes away out here, man. The spiders, the bugs, the rodents that you've never seen before. This is the season for them right now. They're like, hey, remember us? No, go back to where you came from because the island's beautiful without you.
Yeah. And you know, the other part that people don't realize too is the cicadas.
Oh, God.
There's a season where it's so loud.
Yeah.
And then it stops.
Yeah.
Because they die off.
Have you seen how big those bad boys are?
Yes.
The cicadas are huge. They're the size of the Yorkie. That's how big the cicadas are out here. It's ridiculous.
The bats. And, everybody knows about the bats, but nobody ever talks about the cicadas and the mole rats.
And the bats are huge. So I love this because I don't get to talk about these things.
Yeah.
The bats are humongous. They're like the size of a seagull, I guess. They're huge. Command Sergeant Major Khalili, how many years have you served?
I'm going on 27. It'll be 27 years on the 29th of August.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
That is amazing.
I don't know where the time has gone.
Speaking of which, right? Netflix. That's where it went. We've
Yeah.
been 27 years of Netflix.
During COVID, it definitely went to Netflix.
Question. So you mentioned Cuba. You mentioned Hawaii. You mentioned here. Where else have you been able to go?
So I started off my career with the 1st Armored Division back in the day when it was out in Baumholder, Germany. And that was the first 2.5 years of my life.
Gotcha.
Was spent out there. And it was, so I'm a medic.
Okay.
Yeah. And well, we call it combat medic.
Combat medic. Okay.
And so that was during the peacekeeping time when Bosnia was the thing, right? Bosnia and Kosovo were happening. And so I got two deployments out of that one, being with the 1st Armored Division.
Nice.
Then I transitioned out of there and into Fort Carson, Colorado.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was with a unit that was called the 10th Combat Support Hospital.
Okay.
And I was doing more of their emergency medical. It's kind of like they stand up all these tents and put the full-blown hospital out there. And we ran what is the equivalent of the emergency room portion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so then my next one was I went to Fort Gordon, Georgia, which, I'm going full circle right now.
Okay.
I'll talk about that later.
Gotcha.
But Fort Gordon, Georgia, I was assigned to the hospital. And if anybody knows me, I'm an Army brat.
Okay.
I'm Hawaiian and Mexican.
Okay.
And my dad was also in the military, and
Nice.
he was Signal. And so Fort Gordon, Georgia is the home for the Army Signal Corps.
Gotcha.
And I ended up enlisting out of Fort Gordon, Georgia. So I was back home for a few years, but still serving.
Gotcha.
Afterwards, the Army was like, yeah, you're going to do this unaccompanied tour and you're going to Cuba.
Wow.
And I spent a year there with the MP battalion that they stood up at the time in support of the detainee mission that was on Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
And then later I got an email that said, hey, you've been here for a year. Your next assignment is with the 82nd Airborne Division. And I actually laughed because if anybody knows anything, up until just recently, it was the only airborne division that the Army had. Now it's got the 11th Airborne Division out in Alaska.
Gotcha.
But in order to be in that division, you have to be airborne qualified, which means that you got to jump out of planes, right? So I laughed at them and I said, how are you going to send me over there? I'm not even airborne qualified. And they laughed at me and they went, don't worry, they're going to make it that way.
Wow.
And they sure did. I spent 6 years there. I totally loved it. I deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan with them. And let me tell you something, being with true professionals that are willing to risk their lives, even in training, in the training environment, jump out of that plane, it makes you a different leader, right? I was already picked up for Sergeant First Class and I had no airborne wings.
Nice.
And a leader can say, hey, I don't need to do that because I've already been promoted. But what a leader really must recognize, especially in that division, is if you want the respect of your formation, you got to be willing to do what they do. And if it means that you're going to put on full gear and jump out of an airplane in the pursuit of enemy, then that's what we need to get down on.
Wow.
And so that's what I learned. I was there for 6 years, Iraq and Afghanistan.
Okay.
2 deployments, and then came out and went to a university called the Uniformed Services University of the Health Sciences. Have you ever heard of it?
I have, yes, ma'am.
You're one of few.
Yes.
So
only because I worked at headquarters AFPC before, so I heard a lot of those agencies.
Yeah. So it's the only DoD medical university.
That's right.
It sits on the platform where Walter Reed is now in Bethesda. And that was a humbling honor to be, we taught tactical combat care to soon to be officers that were going to be doctors in each branch of service and then move out and be your legacy.
There it is.
And, some could say that was like, it's 4 years that they stay there, but it's, you're only there for 3 years. But the imprint that you have on these officers is tremendous as
They'll
an
remember
enlisted member.
forever.
Right.
Yes.
And, you know, most people are like, oh, it's the enlisted. They're just going to look at my uniform, make sure that I'm, you know, where I need to be. No,
Nope.
It's a lot more than that,
That's
right? We're here for training. And so, yeah, high honor for that one.
Nice.
Then I left and did my first sergeant time at William Beaumont, which is a hospital in El Paso. My dad, I talked about my dad, he retired in El Paso.
Okay.
And so I was able to be there. But I also got picked up for the Sergeant's Major Academy while I was assigned there. So I did 2 first sergeant gigs. I always laugh and tell people I did it so bad, the Army gave me another first sergeant gig.
So let's try this again.
No, but it was great.
Nice.
The lesson that I learned out of there was a hospital is a mini city that runs 24/7. And when I went into the academy, I started breathing life into actually what this assignment is and realizing that I would love to be a manager of an assistant manager of a mini city, which is what I do on Torrey Station, right? Being the garrison CSM, you are assisting the garrison commander in running a mini city.
That's right.
And so, yeah, I started really breathing life into that. The Army sent me to the 25th Infantry Division out of there, and I was their surgeon cell sergeant major, and that's actually when COVID hit.
Wow.
And so, yeah, a lot of lessons learned
Yes.
out of just being on an island during COVID-19, plus having a brigade that was out in Thailand at the time that we had to bring back. You know, quarantine was a thing, and all, you know, and fighting COVID. But then I came here, and thank goodness, because I was already used to what island life during COVID was with Hawaii, and then came here. And so, yeah, now assigned to Torrey Station as the U.S. Army Garrison on Okinawa, CSM. But also, you know, getting ready to leave. It's 21 months now. It'll be 22 months soon. And I was early activated for the next level position, which is brigade CSM for us. And I'm actually doing full circle, like I said before, and it's just in time.
Yeah, I see that. Look at you watching.
I know, right? I'm
awesome.
crazy like that.
Let's go.
So just in time, we're going back home to Fort Gordon, Georgia. And I've really been doing a lot of reflections, you know, because I started, I hate to say it, but I started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Let's
right?
go. Let's go.
But
yeah,
I mean, you know, you work so hard, and you're like, man, I'm going back to the hometown.
That's it.
To the same hospital that I candy striped.
Before I don't mean to interrupt that wonderful story, but we'll be right back right after this break. I caught you. I was trying to catch you.
I tried to time it the right way too. I was doing good. So I'll snorkel.
I can't. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winsome. We're here with Command Sergeant Major Kalani. We're doing the shockers again. Y'all can't see it. And we got the ghost in the corner we're going to get him. We still got 14 minutes to get him over here on the mic, so we're going to get him in a second. Hey, that's Kane Khalili, who's here visiting with us as well today. I'm so excited to have both of them in the studio. And I am humbled and honored to be able to get her here before she departed. And thank you for your time.
Yeah. This is time well spent. Thank you.
Thank you. So we were talking about your journey You got
Yeah.
to Okinawa at the end of the last segment, right?
That's right.
If you can do, I'll ask you this question because you're here in Yomitan, you're in this community, you're here in Okinawa. What did you love about Okinawa? What did you love the most? Give me 3.
So Okinawa in general,
Mm-hmm.
I love that it is safe, secure, and respectable.
Nice.
This is one of the very few assignments that the people of Okinawa just are genuinely like respectful,
Yeah.
right? And so much so that I think we take it for granted. Stop at the stop sign
Yep.
and let a kid cross by the street, right?
Right.
And sometimes you'll get that child to then return the respect in a bow, and that means everything,
That is. Yeah.
right? That is culture done right
That's right.
here, and climate done right. So that's the thing that I will miss the most about Okinawa. It is, you can get very superficial on Okinawa. You can say it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's the resorts,
Yeah.
and I will miss the resorts. That's what I did during COVID. So besides Netflix, I did
Hey,
do.
Kane shaking his head. You're like, they're the resorts. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the thing.
we did a lot of the resorts.
Nice.
Because they weren't bringing any tourists here,
That's
and
right.
so you could go to some of the high end resorts.
That's right.
But yeah, that's the one thing that I will miss the most is the people and just the culture and the climate that has been created here.
Nice.
And yeah, I will miss being with the Yomitan mayor, Toguchi Sobe, and we have the 4 ward chiefs that we do meet with. And I will miss just hearing them, and not everything is rainbows and glitter
Right.
around here,
Right.
right? There are some things that politically we have to answer the mail on,
Right.
and the Army does also. I know the Air Force does. I know the Marines do. But I do love the fact that they will come through the door
Yeah.
and and hear us.
Yeah.
And we definitely reflect on how we are as neighbors on the installation. And so I will miss being a bigger part of this community. I will also miss being a partner and being just a really good steward as a leader to the other services.
Let's go.
Because the other services have totally embraced me in a manner where, hey, Sergeant Major Clilley, can you come to this Marine panel and talk to these first sergeants and, E8s that are going to graduate out of this NCO Academy? And my thing is, absolutely. I don't like public speaking. I will tell you, I'm not a big public speaker.
Right.
But because of that, I don't say no to public speaking.
That's nice.
And so I will miss being in the community and being a really good partner and advocate of the Army and for
Nice.
the Army in that manner. So yeah, definitely with the community and with the other services. And Kadena does the same thing when Women's Equality has come, month, the Asian Pacific Islander month panels that I have been a part of. They've just really taken me in and embraced it. And so, that's actually, that goes out to be, better relationships
Right.
for the Army and the other services. Yeah.
Nice. So a wonderful ambassador with your time while you
Yeah.
were here, and we appreciate that. I didn't get a chance to see a lot of her. When I met her, I was transitioning out when we were chatting, trying to get her on the show. But as soon as I did my little research, so she's been around this island taking care of people, the other services, taking care of the of course, Tory Station. And everyone I've talked to and mentioned that you were going to be coming on the show had nothing but wonderful things to say about you.
Oh, that's awesome.
From Kadena. So thank you. I'm really grateful. If you could do it all over again, some of the things in this island, I know you can't do everything right in the time that we have, but what are some things you wish you could have got to do?
So I wish I would have been able to. We partner with a hospital and a daycare, and also the school.
Okay.
And I wish, and we do that through the Better Opportunity for Single Soldier population, because our single soldiers do not have that much to. Mind you, this is an island,
Gotcha.
right? But during COVID-19, they really did not have a lot to do, and so it forced us to be, again, innovative, agile, and adaptive in how we kept them out, and they were still being able to be, in the community. I wish during that time frame we could have done more farming with, the local community, pulling the weeds. I didn't know how much just taking 3 hours of your time, 2 hours of your time to go and pull weeds in a crop for a school that's trying to clear all the weeds so the kindergartners can come in and grow something and then watch it, grow and manifest into a vegetable or a fruit.
Right.
And so I wish I would have been able to really have more impact that way in the community with a better opportunity of single soldier population.
Gotcha.
I wish that would have linked also into the single Marine population, who are great partners with us.
Gotcha.
And really put them out here in the community. So that's my professional. If I had to do it all over again, what would I do better? Is to do something under the radar that was still COVID-19 friendly, but kept them out, us and all of us, all of them out in the community.
Got you.
Personally, I would have been at the Karamas a lot more.
Let's go. Y'all heard it, Karamas?
Yeah.
We're coming.
I'm so I went there once on the fast ferry. Let me tell you, in 45 minutes, you can be on a different island, in a different beach, lose the time because you're snorkeling out there in the purest of waters. Nobody cares about what you're doing. Everybody was spaced out.
That's
and
right.
You can shower and you can change, and then you can come back. I would have done more of those things.
Gotcha.
I love Take waterfalls, right? But yeah, I would have done a lot more of that. I'm not really a big person that says, "Oh, I wish I would have done mainland."
Gotcha.
I really would have I would have scoured every edge of this area just to appreciate it even more.
Nice.
To include the Karamas.
I love that, man. Not enough people do that. They come and they want to hit all these other places, but they don't realize how much is right here.
Right.
That's amazing.
Right.
So Karamas, y'all heard it. Hey, 78.6 FM Yomitan, Positive Vibes of Winsome. If you haven't been out to the Karamas, you haven't got on that ferry and went to go look at some of the most beautiful waters you will ever see in your life, get out there and go. Ma'am, you have been here 2 years. You have been an amazing ambassador. You have graced us with your presence. But I promised the audience I was going to get your husband on the mic, too.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go,
King
King Khalili. Yeah. Right.
We're switching them out. We got
right.
the husband, Kane Khalili, going to give us a little bit of time before we close out. Big brother, thank you so much.
Nice
Yeah.
Aloha Yomitan.
Hey, I got to throw the ball to him. We got time for 2 questions?
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, you ready?
All right, let's see what we got.
First one, thumball.com. What you got, man?
Ooh, my greatest strength at work.
Your greatest strengths at work.
Shout out to MCI Pack out
Let's
there
go.
at Camp Foster. So I ran the ID card centers for the Marine Corps here while we were here. I think my greatest strength is just relating to the young Marines that I worked with and
I like that.
worked under me. I could relate to them as their supervisor. It brought me back to my time as a young soldier.
There it is.
And you kind of just take these young kids and men and women and guide them. They ask you a lot of different questions, and I think just my greatest strength while working here with the Marine Corps and these young Marines was being able to relate and adapt to those youngins.
Nice.
Loved it.
Nice. All right, we got it. Let's throw it back.
Let's get it.
I'm going to get you again. You ready?
Okay, let's go.
Man. Question number 2.
My childhood hobby.
Oh, God.
Man, like, a lot of young kids. I wasn't really into video games back in growing up in the 80s. All we had is the old school Atari.
Man, they don't know nothing about that Atari, Kane.
Pitfall and all those great games. But, I was always out on that basketball court, man.
Nice.
I played basketball growing up in Hawaii and Georgia.
Nice.
Loved the game. Kind of kept playing while I was in the Army.
Okay.
And my childhood hobby was definitely out there on that basketball court.
Bowling. Let's go.
Can I also, though, say one of his first childhood hobbies was drumming for his mom's Polynesian group.
Let's go. Look at all these secrets coming out. You was a drummer too?
Yeah, and
Let's
so
go.
Fun fact about him, he actually was a drummer in the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta
go.
for opening ceremonies.
Yeah, claim to fame, I guess, right?
It's on here too. That would have been That is awesome.
My mom's halal. They tried out for the opening ceremonies, and they ended up selecting me as the drummer.
Wow.
So if you Google 1996 opening ceremonies, I was representing the Black Olympic Ring. I'm the top drummer up there. Yeah.
Let's go.
Cool story, man. Awesome time back then. And right after that, I was ready to join the military. So
let's go.
It was great.
Kane, what if you can do it all over again, right? Wifey would have spent more time in the Karamas. What would you have done more of?
Yeah, definitely doing some traveling. We didn't, our goal was to get out here and hit some of these different countries.
Yeah.
We were hoping that the borders would open up. I was looking forward to Bali and Thailand, and it just didn't happen. Guess we're gonna have to do that when my wife retires, and
that's right.
Come on back to Okinawa. And
you said your son's gonna be holding it down here anyway, right?
Oh
so
yeah,
that's
come
right.
visit.
Yeah.
That's right. And you got a little brother that's gonna be here for a couple more years. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm here. Hey, 78.6 FM Youngstown, Kane. Thank you so much,
No
man.
problem.
The ghost came out, y'all. We see him. Hey, 78.6 FM Youngstown, positive vibes of Winsome. We have been blessed today with our guest, Command Sergeant Major Kalani Khalili and her husband Kane. Hey, gotta do the chakra. I gotta do it. There it is. Yeah. Hey, they came out, hung out with us, shared her journey here and leading to the island and things she enjoyed while she was here.
Yeah.
That is amazing, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Such a humbling honor, right? When you think about it. My claim to fame right now is I'm the first garrison CSM when U.S. Army Garrison on Okinawa stood up. So it's the first
Let's go.
female for them.
The first, y'all.
And it's been such a high honor. The
Nice.
community even realized that more. Our local national workforce noticed that before anybody else. They were like, you realize that you're the first, right?
Let's go.
And it's meant the world for me. Totally has dictated how I react and what our priorities are and where they should be. So yeah, it's been such a high honor to be here, in the capacity that I was chosen to be at. And I can't thank the leadership above me more for the trust and confidence, that was bestowed on me with this assignment. So.
No, thank you so much, man. Hey, 78.6 FM Youngstown, positive vibes of Winsome. We're closing out, but I wanted to make sure you hear this. Not only was she the first female Command Sergeant Major in Tory, she was the first Tory representative to come grace us here in the booth.
I know.
She's 2 first now, right before she leaves out of here. Hey, you are loved, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. I appreciate everyone listening. I appreciate the folks who did tune in on YouTube. We'll be back next week, and thank you so much for your time and your energy. Ma'am, you too, the ghost in the corner, thank you, and I'm so appreciative of you.
Mahalo.